You are watching the number one podcast in the wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juan.
And I'm your other host, John Paul Leck.
And together we are
Road Freak.
How's every single one of you today? Before we start, for the ones that complain about the lighting, there it is, natural lighting. So I hope that all of you are doing amazing. We have WrestleMania Day 2 results. I don't know if it was better than Day 1. We're going to dissect every single thing. But before that, thank you so very much for watching all of the videos. Hope all of you are doing fine with this imprisonment, enclosement, isolation. We see that there's a little hope. There will be light at the end of the tunnel. So let's be positive about that, Jean Paul. And like I said, thank you to everybody that has been watching every single one of our videos. WrestleMania finally came to an end, Jean Paul. In the end, we get Drew McIntyre as our new WWE champion. Legit. I think that we all wanted that. I think that Drew deserves this. And in the end of Mania, at least we can say that we got what we wanted in the main event.
Yeah, no, I agree with that statement 100%. Like you said, this Day 2 might not have been better than Day 1. Like you said, we'll go over it. But they did, some things right. They did some things wrong. Like every WrestleMania, they book things and it's a head scratcher. And they book things that we can be like, oh, that was super legit. And like you said, the main event, even though it might not have been the wrestling match it could have been and that we wanted, the right guy won in Drew McIntyre, and at least, we were able to turn off WrestleMania, smiling.
Exactly. Yeah, so Jean Paul, we can start with the kickoff show. Again, Rosenberg, again, Corey Graves talking about pretty much video packages, no social distancing, and we got Natalia and Liv Morgan, like we mentioned yesterday, and I think it was a decent match. I think I just did it pump anybody? I don't think so. I mean, Liv was smoking hot. I will say that. But besides the point, the match was just a regular match, just decent.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you said, Liv is, she's never, hard on the eyes. So she's always easy to look at. And It was was this match, was it a classic? Will I go back and watch it again? No. But hey, I mean, they were on WrestleMania, so you know what? That's for them as performers. That's good for them. I'm not going to be like, oh, blah blah blah. Like, hey, they were on WrestleMania. Liv Morgan can say, hey, I won a match on WrestleMania. Whether people remember it or not, who cares? But
like you said, you can pull off the network and say, "But here it is," or at least at the kickoff.
But to answer your question, did this match really excite? Did it do anything? No.
No, yeah, exactly. But Liv Morgan won. It was just combinations of roll-ups because that's why we're not going to the sequences. And we're going to start now with the main show, Day 2, NXT Women's Championship match, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair. This match was absolutely legit.
Oh my god, this match! Start. Yeah, I was going to say this match to me was like 2 years ago, I believe it was with Charlotte and Asuka.
Yes.
Super legit match. I mean, even though the winner of that match, it hurt me. It broke my heart to see my girl Asuka lose. But I can't take away everything before the tap out. It was an extremely legit match. We got the exact same thing here with, unfortunately, the exact same freaking result. And I'm like, are you kidding me? But Rhea, I love the new gear. She came out. It was like white and blue with some gold and yellow on it. It looked really cool. Like I was saying to you, I really hope she does different kind of gear like this for pay-per-view takeover events and stuff in the future, since losing, maybe she's getting promoted to Monday Night Raw. I don't know. I hope not. I don't really know what they're going to do, but, let's go through the match and then we'll...
Exactly. The whole thing, like you said, Charlotte came out. She didn't do anything, out of the ordinary. I think because she knew that there was not going to be a crowd. So I think she pulled out one of her old ropes, and that was pretty much it. Regular attire, regular gear that she always does. But the match itself, I would say, was probably the best match for women in 2020. And the match focused on Charlotte attacking Rhea's leg.
That was the main
leg. That was the whole story of the match. The match started with a riptide right away from Rhea. near fall, but then the whole thing, and like they went for like at least I would say like good 25, 20 minutes around that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Very long match. They gave her time. It seemed like Serena and Venus Williams were fighting because they were screaming like really loud. Everybody could hear that. Even I saw a meme that like it said, "Oh, I had to turn the volume off for this match because I didn't want my neighbors to think that I was watching porn." So like how long, how loud they were screaming and everything. Very very
Yeah,
good interaction.
they were really, like you said, they were going crazy, screaming. They were really selling it, and that's what also I feel made this match, more legit too. Is like every time Rhea took like a bump or something to that knee, she was, screaming in pain, and it was like, oh shit, like it really, you got yourself invested in the match. And then that's why it was like, at the end of this thing when Rhea, she's like making the comeback, slapping her leg, like she's like, let's go, and she's like shaking her leg or knee, trying to get it pumped up, get the blood flowing through it so she can win. You were like, yeah, 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 you felt it. And then figure eight and
And done exactly. Like one thing I want to like mention to you though, I really love when Charlotte was chopping her. She was like, "I won the NXT, I won the Raw one, I
yeah.
won the SmackDown one." Like she kept going like that, like a lot of trash talking. Really, really great match. Like you said, these
Mhm.
two at least they were able to pull out really, really good stuff. Imagine if we would have seen a crowd, it would have been even so much better.
Oh
Like
yeah, and
so cool.
And I see, I don't. This match with the winner, I think, benefited from there being no crowd. Because if Ray would have lost, oh my, that would have been like
Yeah, but
Roman Reigns level of
reaction.
boot, if not more, when he beat the Undertaker. I'm talking because Ray is white hot. Like
Yes,
all the fans are 100% behind Rhea, and people know Charlotte is overproduced, overbooked, and she's only where she is because of her last name. So nobody's going to cheer her. Yeah, you get the occasional marks, ooh, the queen, whatever. But everybody who knows anything about wrestling will know Rhea is the more legit one for right now, and she's the one who should have won.
exactly. So like you said,
But
we'll go for.
but with that being said, I don't want people to take anything that I'm saying out of context. Charlotte is a legit wrestler,
Oh
but
yeah.
she's definitely overbooked.
Well, like the one thing, just to like go along that thought is like she's extremely great wrestler, but it shouldn't. It's not right that every WrestleMania she wins,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
every WrestleMania she's in the main event of the women.
Mhm.
You don't
Yeah,
need that.
but see, and now I'm gonna ask you, like, I can justify her beating Asuka. I don't, because somebody should have had to beat the streak. I would have gave that. I would have booked Asuka a lot better and gave that streak to Ronda Rousey. You could
Yes,
have did like armbar versus Asuka lock, but this match I feel Charlotte didn't do. Like I wouldn't have given her this match at all. I don't
no,
think she should have beat Ray at all. Like what was the point of building Ray up and then she loses to Charlotte? So now what?
and that's what I mean. Like, and then I think she's gonna go to NXT, and like she's gonna try to boost the shows. Boost the ratings. She's gonna try to be like the main event over there. I can definitely see like a rematch because that's what like
Yeah.
they could do
That's
that.
the only thing I could think is that you said they book a program and they do a rematch and they give the title back to her because honestly, but somebody whoever is going to win this ladder match is going to just end up losing to
To
Charlotte
Charlotte.
because who in this match is more believable than Rhea Ripley to beat Charlotte? Nobody.
Neither one of them.
Nobody.
No,
No, none of these six women.
no.
I
And if
would
you
say
think
Io.
about it, I don't
I would
think
say
Bianca is even in the ladder match.
no. I would say Io Shirai could do it, but they won't book that. A five foot, nothing Io Shirai beating like 6 foot Charlotte Flair. No way. They're not booking it.
Especially if they didn't do it with Asuka,
Yeah.
nor they're gonna do it for Io Shirai. But like you said, the end of the match, it was pretty much like she put the figure eight on her, and then nobody thought she was gonna tap. But in the end, like she applied the pressure. Of course, when she bridges, it's like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my god, the whole goes for like 1 to like a 10, like
Yep.
pain level, and it's like the game is like you see like the bar going right away, like to like done,
Yep.
and then Rhea had to tap, and pretty much we have a new NXT Women's Champion in Charlotte Flair. Overbook. I will say that overbook, and no, there's not a single person in the world right now that it can make me change my mind on that, and I believe the same thing can apply to you. So Jean Paul, we go now to Alastair Black against Bobby Lashley with Lana. We said this match has absolutely no build up, absolutely no sense. They just put that to feature these two guys on the card. Did they give us a good match? We knew about this. We kind of pretty much booked it. It's gonna
Yeah.
be exchanges, a little bit of Black, a little bit of Bobby, Lana was back in the WWE. She was been filming a movie, and then of course, she's back as Lashley's wife. And in the end, Lashley's pretty much dominating.
Yeah.
He has like the match won because he's about to do like the Dominator, and then she goes, "No, no, no, spear him," and Lashley's like, "All right,"
Yeah. He throws Black down, then he looks at her, he gives her the point and the wink. He's like, okay, I'll spear him.
I got you. It's like, do I have finisher? It's like, yeah.
I'll spear you later too. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's right. And then he goes for the spear, and Black does the Black Mass,
Black
and
mass and done.
and done. Yeah, and done. Like pretty much like a pretty quick match. And see, this is what we wanted though. So I'm not against that because no build up.
Yeah, if I'm judging the match for what it was on the show, it's exactly what I wanted. Couple minutes, blah blah blah. Lana causes the distraction, so Bobby Lashley still looks okay. He's not like completely buried because he was distracted by Lana. Eats the Black Mass, and done. Alastair Black wins. But in all honesty, the match should have never really even happened. This should have been a match that they booked on Monday Night Raw tonight, if there even is a show, to then, continue things moving forward after WrestleMania. Because this didn't deserve to be a WrestleMania match.
Oh yeah, like I said, it's like no build up. Nobody's invested. Nobody even understand why these two are fighting. There's no reason to fight.
Yeah, they were like, oh, supremacy on the red brand. Okay. You know what I mean? It's like,
okay. So like the other ones, they're not like worth of like having that kind of supremacy, that kind of title. But let's move on, Jumpo. Kayla Braxton is interviewing Bayley and Sasha. They're talking about like the 5 elimination match that they're gonna have. And Bayley saying that this is the biggest challenge that she's ever had. And she's like, I know, Kayla, can you please stop? I'm tired of people saying the same thing. And then she goes, but Sasha, like, are you going to win the title? And then he's like, oh, can you please stop asking her that? He's like, I'm upset and everything. So Ben, she goes, Kayla, this interview is over. So as Bayley's leaving, then Sasha kind of like, you can see it starts the seeds right there. You can see something is going to happen. Because Sasha goes and she's like, Sasha, you've been a 5-time 4-time Raw Women's Champion. You've been a Tag Champion. You've been NXT Champion. Like, aren't you interested in this SmackDown Championship? And she goes, you just gotta wait and see. So for that, I thought that she was gonna win it, today or the last night, I should say. But you can see the seats. Something is about to happen right there, and we gotta get something kind of dumb, and that is like the replay of Mojo Riley winning the 24/7 championship. Later on in the night, we're just gonna get this over with right there. So it's not, we don't forget.
Yeah, we only want the bad taste in our mouth once.
Yes, so. Exactly. So we take the pain once. And Rob Gronkowski won the 24/7 championship. He dove himself out of like the balcony that he was at because there was a lot of extras, like you said, like No Way Jose's dancers.
Yeah,
they were right there.
Yeah, like all the jobbers came out and they were kind of chasing Mojo Rawley, and then they all did the thing where they're all like grappling and they're all in a group. Yes. So then Mojo Rawley jumped down. He did the Roman Reigns spot. He jumped down, tackled everybody to the ground. Pin Rawley, 1, 2, 3. Rob Gronkowski is the new champion. Does anybody care? No.
Do you care? No. All right. Yeah. No, he doesn't even care. So, exactly. And that's the one that matters the most. So anyway, now something that you do care, and you care also. Otis against Dolph Ziggler. That was pretty much for me. That was my Mania moment. We called it. We've been saying like this needs to end this way. Jean Paul actually even add more fuel to this, made it more, I will say, more grandiose because like he wanted the championship belts to be on the line. They didn't do that, but at least in this case, Otis gets retribution. The match, nobody really cared, I think.
Yeah. The match itself, I mean, it wasn't like it. Again, the match isn't something you'll go back and watch. The only thing you'll want to go back and watch is what happens after the pin. Yes. You know what I mean? Or maybe the last like 2 minutes of the match. The whole thing itself wasn't like a 5-star classic. But the whole thing, it wasn't the in-ring aspect we're looking for. We wanted Otis. We wanted our boy, the belly, the stakes and weights. We wanted him to get the girl, and that's what happened. I was scared WWE was going to book this like bullshit and be like, you know what? We don't really have any storylines planned because of everything going on and just because in general we're all flat riding, so we're going to keep the story going on and on. So I was scared it was going to be like super kick and done, but Otis won in the end, baby.
Otis won in the end. Like she came out, Double Ziggler came out with Sonya Deville, so both of them are kind of helping each other out because of all the situation. Like they're pretty much a tag. You can call that. And Otis was about to hit the caterpillar, but then Sonya starts distracting the ref, and then we
Yeah,
hear Mandy
oh,
Rose.
and the one thing to say, just a quick interject, there was no Tucky. Tucker
Yeah, there was
Knight
no
was he was injured from when
the
he
zigzag.
got the zigzag on the steel steps, so he
Yeah.
wasn't there. So that's why kind of Otis didn't have any backup.
No, Tucky. And yeah, there was no Tucky, but like Otis like is about to hit the caterpillar, and then we hear Mandy Rose's music because like I said, Sonya wasn't distracting the ref and everything, and then Mandy comes out. Mandy like completely shoves Sonya. Like with a really good punch, she's down, and then she goes in the ring and she kills Dolph a low blow. She does a
Uh-huh.
low blow. That was legit. That was all WWE. That was like okay, that's legit. And then Otis was able to deliver the caterpillar, 1, 2, 3, and done. And like you said, the best part goes after that. Both of them are celebrating. They're holding hands. But Odie's like, no, this doesn't end here. So he
Yeah,
grabs her. He has it on. He's holding her and everything. And they look at each other and he's like, you know you want it. And then, boom! They
yeah,
finally
they
end up like
start
giving like
kissing. Yeah,
not even like a top kiss, not even a smooch. It's like a good like maybe three
yeah,
seconds. And
yeah,
those were probably the three best seconds in Otis's life. And a lot of us were like this. Yeah, absolutely. This guy deserves the world. It's like
yep,
finally you get the girl, you get the win, you got your WrestleMania moment. And I think actually, if they could actually cash from this situation, he will become a singles guy. You know, I'm sorry for Taki, but like if they use the momentum that he has right now, I will just use Mandy as my my manager, whatever. It will just be so
yeah.
legit.
Now that would be legit if I mean it's hard to say because I would agree with that. But what would he do in a singles role? The only thing I could think of is maybe there's the storyline with which we're just gonna say Ali. The mystery hacker. You could do something with him. Maybe they play up the injury angle from Tucker Knight and have him sit on the shelf for a little while. Like you said, it's a shame for him, but I don't know what they're gonna do. I'm just excited that Odie, he got what he deserved,
That's
and that
right.
was the girl. That was the
Our boy
girl,
got
the
what he
win,
deserved.
and
Yeah.
the WrestleMania moment. So
Uh,
now he
that's
can
what I
look
mean.
back at his career and he can show his kids. He'll be like, "Look what Dad got. Look at
Oh yeah.
that.
And
Oh
look what
yeah."
Daddy got. Yeah. And also like see Mandy when Mandy was looking so hot. So like
Uh,
he got a good kiss. I'm proud of my boy. So that was really cool. Now we got to something that it didn't make quite sense why they put it in the card. It was pretty much the fourth match, and it was the last man standing match. We thought that was going to main event, but because of the match we saw, we understood then why they put it in this place on the card.
yeah.
Last man standing returns of like rated R superstar after 9 years. Edge against Randy Orton. Tell us your thoughts, John Paul.
Um. Normally when I think of a last man standing match, I don't think of like a backstage brawl or like a street fight. I think of guys, fighting in the ring. Maybe we would have saw like, an RKO onto the chair or something like that in the ring, and Edge gets up at like a 9 count. You see kind of dramatic stuff, superplexes, maybe something through a table, something like that. He could have speared him through the table. Instead, they immediately start, Randy Orton is disguised as the cameraman because his music hits. Edge is looking like, where is he? He comes in, RKO's him out of nowhere, and then the match pretty much just goes to the backstage, and they don't even really fight in the ring. So, like I said, that kind of took me out of it, and I don't know if it was just Edge, and I'm not going to say anything against him because he looked legit in this match. Just physically, he looks legit, and he looked like he could go, but the pacing was extremely slow, I thought. So that also kind of took me out of it. I guess it wasn't what I expected, if I'm being honest. Like, it wasn't awful. It wasn't one of those things where I'm like, oh my God, like, well, is this going to end? But it didn't really pick up until I would say probably the last, like, 5, 6 minutes of it.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree with you.
there was good spots, but then it would slow down to where it was almost like, so what's going
No,
on?
it's like in these like is it gonna end? Yeah, like for example, I'll tell you two things. First of all, it really sucks that we had to see Edge's return for an empty crowd.
Mm-hmm.
He felt like like everybody else. he didn't feel like different. He felt just like one, but like he's never left.
Yep.
And in this situation, it actually it feels bad because you think you know me. Boom, 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 boom. He came out. All right,
Do you
all
think the
right.
fact that commentary also wasn't really saying anything during this match hurt it? Because
Yeah, oh yeah,
commentary was really quiet. There wasn't like they weren't commentating on it.
they left the story kind of going, like you said. For
Yeah.
we got a tour through the whole performance center. We got to see
Yeah.
everything. So there you go, Ciampa, Gargano, and maybe that's what they want to do. That's the first like slide, like that's how they want to do it. Probably their
Yeah,
last
they
match.
were even in that conference room where
Yeah.
Gargano was filming his video when Ciampa
Yes.
attacked him. Yeah, they were
Yes.
literally everywhere.
So yeah, so like the whole thing, like for me, like you said, like it wasn't like it didn't pick up all the way till the end. And see, like it was also like long. To me, it was like a long, like 22, 23 minutes. So
Oh,
that made it
it
really
was. I feel like it was at least a half an hour. Like if you're going from the smoke, you think you know me, to the eventual concerto and win. I mean that was I think at least a half an hour. It was
yeah.
a long.
And like you said, the one thing is like when I wanted to see a little bit more wrestling when it comes to
Yeah,
that, like a little bit of moves. He did the RKO, yeah, he did it twice and everything, but I'm like, I wanted like to see just like Edge moveset, I wanted to see the reverse DDT, I wanted to see the executioner, things like that. I didn't
yeah,
want it to like
exactly.
I
That's
didn't
right.
want,
Yeah,
like this whole like thing that like they did that pretty much like took me out of it. For most of the match I was just like, all right. So because I don't mind them doing this about like 5 6 minutes and then they go back to the ring.
yep.
But maybe they felt like the same thing as the Undertaker with the boneyard and everything. They're not going to perform for an empty crowd, so maybe they were like, okay, what can we do? Let's take it on all the way,
Yeah,
to the
let's try
performance
to
center.
make it little. Let's try to make it a little more cinematic. Let's make it more like a fight in a movie versus a wrestling match. Which,
Yes,
I mean, you can applaud them for that. If that's your cup of tea, then you probably love this match. But for you and me, we kind of like a little bit more traditional wrestling. Now we do like a brawl. We like a street fight, but with more wrestling mixed in.
yes.
And that's this wasn't that. So we both feel like it kind of hurt it a little bit.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. So like I said, I want to take you through just like I will say like maybe 25% of the last sequences so like people can understand what we're talking about for the ones that didn't watch that. But like again, they're pretty much all the way in the performance center. They're just going through the whole thing. So Edge is climbing onto some production boxes to stop like a pin that like Randy Orton has. Then onto the top of like the NXT semi truck park. And then it was nearby. And then Orton climbs up after Edge and runs for a pun. But then like Edge hits with a spear. So like okay, yeah, we're like I thought it was done. So I'm like
Mm.
okay, finally done. They both get to their feet and Edge runs for a spear, but then gets caught with an RKO. And then Orton, I was like, oh my god, Orton's gonna win, really? And then Orton rolls over the semi, and then onto like the pickup truck, and Edge beats the count before collapsing. Like he like gets up and then woo, and
Yeah,
then
there was a lot of moments in this that I felt like now that you mentioned that the ref was kind of like he knew probably the spot where it was over, but he was like I don't know. I've seen other last man standing matches where Edge would have been counted out. Like you can't like Edge at that moment, he literally stood up for like half a second and then fell over. I've seen last man standing matches where they're like 10 and the guy like falls and they're like, no, he's done. He didn't stand. Like you can't stand and then fall. That's like you're not really standing. You have to be on your feet. So
yes,
like the rules were a little bit bended there, which also because I'm like usually really good at that attention because I even catch in matches where it's like, well that he wasn't even the legal man. How did he eat the pin? So when I see stuff like that, where that kind of bothers me, it takes me out of it. I'm like, really, like just don't have it be a last man standing match then.
yeah. Those were the things that like kind of took us out of it. So then Randy Orton grabs two chairs and carries them back up to the semi truck, and then he hits Edge across the back with one of them. Then Orton puts one of the chairs under Edge's head, grabs the other one, but Edge jumps up, and then he gets him into like a standing triangle choke. So that was pretty much the end of it. It was like Orton completely passed out of that. So that to me seems to be like Edge is gonna have like a new finisher into that triangle choke that he has, like a standing triangle choke, very similar to what like Jake Hager is
Yeah,
doing on AEW. So Edge chokes out Orton, and then he falls onto the chair, and then Edge then he stands and grabs the other chair and yells to the referee, "Stop count! Stop the count!" So then Ed stands over Orton with a chair and starts to cry, but then he hits the concerto and done. And then
Yeah,
he
and
kind of
then
starts to pour out. He starts
yeah,
burning his eyes out.
at that moment, I was like, oh man, he's gonna lose. I thought because that's when I thought. Like when he was crying, I was like, "Oh, Randy Orton's gonna jump up and RKO him on the chair, and then hit the concerto, and then done." But then you saw his tears. He was still crying, but then his face got more angry, and he probably thought of like his wife and his children, and he's like, "No, I'm gonna crush this dude's head." Boom, and then it was like, that was the moment where it's like the match like felt legit. But like you said, the rest of it was slow and stuff, but the right guy won at least.
Oh well, yeah, and
Edge
like,
got his
well,
win,
what we
and that
can
was
say, Jean
legit.
Paul, is like to get us there, they took way too long just to
Yeah.
get us there because that was good. So that's my only like I will say, not even criticism. It's just like, hey, it just carry one too long for us. So now
Mm.
we go to the Raw Tag Team Championship match. Angel Garza and Austin Theory going against the Street Profits. See, this match to me, I think we're overall like kind of tired from the Last Man Standing, so I don't think
Yeah.
people really care for this a lot. And it
No.
showed because like it ended in kind of like a really crappy way.
Yeah, and I thought that it was really fast as well. I mean, it was to me it felt like 5 minutes into it, and Garza already ripped his pants off. And when he rips his pants off, it's soon done.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, it's almost done. And I mean also, but like going back to the Alastair Black and Bobby Lashley match, this is the same thing. It's like we have zero investment. Do we care about Austin Theory and Angel Garza as a team? No, not really. Do we know that the Street Profits are going to retain? Yes. So it's like, why do we even need to really watch this? But the ending to it was legit.
Yes, yes. Like what happened post match also was really legit.
Mm.
So Angel Garza climbs to the top rope and then he wipes out the Profits with a moonsault on the floor. Then Garza gets four back in the ring and hits another moonsault for a near fall. Four connects with an Inzaguri and tags Angelo Dawkins while Theory gets a tag. Theory drops Dawkins with a TKO and pins. Bad Montez comes up to the top rope with a frog splash to Theory and the Profits win. So very anticlimactic. Like I was like, okay, is it done? And okay. So then that's the good stuff. That's when like Garza and Theory start attacking the Profits after the match, and Vega even drops forward with a super kick. But then, wait, and then Bianca Belair. She runs down and she attacks Vega while the Profits are like coming back and clear the ring, and then Bianca hits a KOD on Vega, and she's just wiping her hands. She's going like this, and then she's like, and all of that. So that was a really cool moment that they gave the Street Profits and Bianca because Bianca wasn't even featured on NXT or here.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really
Yeah,
cool
because
that they did that.
Yeah, we didn't get your triple threat match. Bullshit.
I'm telling you, like, well,
But
I get it, but
but
no
at
crowd
least
and all of that.
yeah, but at least Bianca had her moment, and that was legit. The Street Profits holding her up, and like we said, when she came out, made the save, and everything kind of calmed down. Ford's on the ground, and he's like,
That's my baby.
yeah, he's
That's
looking at her.
right.
He's like, that's my woman. She's more badass than me.
Yeah, my woman is more badass than me. My woman can be the all three of those guys. That's
Yeah.
legit. And talking about guys that like have been doing catering, have been doing like food service, like we did in the past. We're gonna talk about a guy that like we haven't seen for the past 2 years. Yeah, like Titus. Titus is back, and he's standing in the balcony, and he says he's the host now because Gronkowski left the building. Thank you, bro. We'll say your first and only job being the host, and you leave midway to the show.
Yep.
Thanks. Yeah, I see how it is. That's
I would have rather had Titus over Gronkowski for the whole show to begin
Well,
with.
yeah,
But,
he's a wrestler. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm tag champ, and for his physique, he should have been maybe more.
Yeah,
But
I
because
mean,
like,
and he slid under that ring in the Greatest Royal Rumble, whatever that
oh,
was. That was
that
legit.
moment is so legit when like
That
he
was legit.
rips. Absolutely great. So, Mr. Leek, your girl Bailey, SmackDown Championship 5-way elimination match. I was saying it wasn't that bad. It wasn't
No,
that
this match, honestly, it was better than I thought. Like the booking and stuff, it's like, Instead of giving Bailey the legit one-on-one singles match, which at least they're going to build to, spoiler, from what happened we saw at the end of this, but it's like, let's just take 5 women, throw them in a match for WrestleMania so we get everybody on the card, and it's like, oh, those matches are usually bullshit. This one, it wasn't bad. I felt even like when Tamina was in there, the match, it all made sense. All the other 4 women were like, in a one-on-one scenario, Tamina is, she's a powerhouse. She's going to kick her ass. So we all kind of got to team up to take her out. And then once they did that, then it became legit. And the one thing I want to say is Lacey Evans, even though I talk trash on her, this and that sometimes, I think she's a legit wrestler. Maybe not legit to like the levels of like Toni Storm, Rhea, all those other women on NXT. But that like moonsault she does where she jumps from the second rope onto the top
standing and then
flips.
dodge.
Yeah, she hits it perfect. Every time she hits it, midsection on midsection. She's not like, oh, I'm hitting my face onto your knees or something. You know what I mean? She's hitting that moonsault perfect. Legit move.
I can only say about her, don't be jealous because they like what they see. I think Lacey, she's getting better. And I'm not telling you I love her. I'm not telling you I'm a huge fan. But at least, like you said, like you see that she's trying to improve herself, improve her delivery, improve her execution.
Yeah.
And it shows. And it's really showing.
Because her gimmick, to me, is almost, it's like a Sable, like from that era. Where she's like, oh, like I'm a lady and this and that. But in the ring, I mean, she like throws elbows and this and that. That's why I say she's like, she's legit.
Oh yeah. And the match, like it started out like going all the 5 of them at it, and then they eliminated the first one and gone was Tamina because they all hit finishers on her, and then at the end Naomi did the thing with Robbie and them, the moonsault from the top rope.
Yeah, split-legged moonsault.
The split-legged moonsault, and then all of them covered though. The other 4 that went right there.
That was legit.
Tamina was done, and then the next one that went was Naomi. And then, like, because you see, like, you will see a little bit of the interactions with Sasha Banks and Bayley. They were still teaming up and all of that. And then Naomi leaves. And then we get to see just Lacey, Sasha, and Bayley. And actually, Bayley helps Lacey Evans to get Sasha Banks eliminated. Because she kind of, like, shoves.
Yeah, by accident. Because it was, earlier, Sasha was in the corner, and they send Lacey Evans in there. And then Bayley goes for a knee. And then Lacey moves and she hits Sasha. So she hits her with this knee. And it was like, oh, okay, if Sasha had a brain, she would be like, well, Lacey clearly dodged. Bayley didn't mean to take me out. But then when Sasha recovers, she gets back in Bayley's face. And she's like, what were you doing? What the hell? Blah, blah, blah. And Bayley's like, come on. Like, why are you being bullshit? Lacey moved. I'm legit. And she's like, no, you're not legit. You're bullshit. And then it was like, then Lacey gets up and she goes for, the
women's right.
The women's right. Bayley moves out of the way like you would. Like, why would I eat this move? And Sasha's done.
But Bayley didn't do anything to stop the pin.
She was like leaning against the ropes, looking like, okay, yeah, go ahead, pinner. Yep.
Yeah.
Because you got to think
that's
smart.
That's right.
Bayley could be, she could be like, well, I didn't want to pin you. You know what I mean? Like, if I would have pinned Lacey, then I would have had to pin you. So I might as well let somebody else do it for me.
I guess, yeah. And you can always say that, like, and play it out and be like, hey, like, I'm not going to do that. And again, it's like every woman for itself right now.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, maybe if I win, I win. We're best friends, but if it's done, it's done. So then Lacey and Bayley are the 2 left, and Evans is about to win it. She's getting all the momentum, but then she's about to hit the women's right too, because like she's charging the move like the Big Show will do.
Yeah, and when when that moonsault, what we talked about earlier, when she hit that moonsault on Bayley, I thought it was done. I was like, oh man, but I'm like, that moonsault is so legit. Like I want to be mad, but I'm like, oh, that's a legit moonsault. And then she kicked out, and I was like,
yeah, she kicked out, and then like I said, but she's charging for the women's right after that, and then she gets the backstabber from Sasha Banks because again, it's a 5-way match. There's no disqualification. So Sasha Banks can come in, and then just do that. She delivers the backstabber, and then Bayley does the rose. What is the rose plant? The rose plant. Yeah, like her new finisher. Like now, no more Bayley to Bayley crap, and done. 1, 2, 3.
Her new old finisher, you could say.
She relieved like her old, like the rose, the plant that like you said, Jean Paul, when she was doing independent stuff. She was using that as her finisher. 1, 2, 3. Bayley retains, but Sasha, the interaction after that, you could see how Sasha is like, oh, like here's your belt, but she's staring at it. It's kind of like
she was holding it too. Yeah, she had the belt. She handed it, and then
she
like
put it around. She put it around Bayley's waist.
Bayley's kind of looking there, and then she, once everything's like so, and like it's not awkward. Then Bailey, she starts celebrating. Her music hits, everything. She's like screaming to the crowd. She's like, "Screw you, Michael Cole, JBL." I heard her yell or something. That was
The
pretty
one
funny.
thing, the one thing, I don't know if you picked this up, but like it was, I guess she's listening to Michael Cole, like the announcing,
Uh,
and she's like, "Oh, Bailey seems in trouble," and then she goes, "No, I'm not." She goes like, "No, I'm not."
yeah,
Like that was legit. Like,
yeah. Yeah,
it's like they
I
were,
like that because that's what I like because, and like I said, when she got out, she was like, "Screw you, Michael Cole, JBL," because, like you said, there's no crowd, so she can hear exactly what the announcers are saying.
that's what I
So
mean. Like so, like
because the whole time, because Michael Cole's face, he's like, "Oh yeah, Bailey is a champion for the longest, reigning SmackDown Women's Champion, but her methods aren't, the best." And then JBL's like, "What the hell are you talking about, Michael? She's a role model." So
yeah,
because he's obviously the heel,
JBL, like he
which
has some legit moments.
yeah,
JBL is
I'm
not.
going to say JBL is a piece of shit human being, but on commentary, he's not bad.
Well,
I'd rather listen to him than Corey
you know why
Graves,
he's
and
legit? Because he acts like a piece of shit in commentary. So
because
he's
that's
good.
who he really is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's acting like he really
yeah.
is. Yeah, that's what I mean. So like, yeah.
And
So that was really,
him and Michael Cole had pretty good chemistry too.
yeah. It's more enjoyable. I will say that.
Yeah.
I will, I don't mind Layfield.
Mhm.
I actually mind his run as champion. That's what I mind the most about him, just because of the matches with Taker. 04. We'll do a video on that,
Uh,
but it
but
doesn't.
but the one thing I will say though, I do like, well, like I said, when Bailey was celebrating and the lights were on her, you could clearly see that like Sasha was in the back, just like staring a hole right through her, like I'm coming for that belt. Like I like that like foreshadowing and everything else
You
like
can
that. Yeah.
clearly see that that's the path. Exactly right. So, Mr. Egg, we go to like the Firefly Funhouse match. This was a
The
completely
Firefly
different concept.
Funhouse movie.
Yeah, like it was a movie. Like I said, for the people that hated the Boneyard match with the Undertaker and Styles, here's part two. For the ones that they were shitting on it, for the ones that said that like, oh my god, wrestling is dead.
That you're our friend.
Yeah, like for the ones that say wrestling is dead, it's like, come on, guys, at least we're getting the show. Enjoy it for what it is, and learn to enjoy. If you're the one writing this stuff, be upset if like people don't like it. But hey, enjoy it for what it is. Make the
Mm-hmm.
best out of it. Jean Paul said it like in the video from day one. He said the same thing. Hey, we're getting something. The best thing, guys, and I will say this: 2 minutes, just jump on, even a minute. The fact that like for 3.5 hours, even more, we were able to forget that like people are dying in the world as we talk. I think that speaks volumes of WWE.
Yeah,
And if you are not able
exactly.
to separate the two, I'm sorry. So Jean Paul, Cena pretty much like he comes in the ring, but like everything cinematic. We reported this though before Mania. We said it's going to be very different, and that's what it pretty much happened. Cena
Mm-hmm.
looks around the fun house, and then he's weirded out because he actually gets in the world. And like like you said, and then we saw Rambling Rabbit, and then we see like she tells Cena where Wyatt is. So Cena goes through the door after Wyatt, and then we get like he's the darkness. Then we hear noises, and then like the puppet of Vince appears. like we see Vince in the
Yeah,
puppet.
and he cuts that ruthless aggression promo. You
Yes, and
got
then
aggression.
yeah, and then pretty much he says the ruthless aggression, and then kind of like they recreate the whole thing with Kurt Angle, and Bray Wyatt is pretty much playing as a Kurt Angle, and he's like, well, like give me somebody. If there's somebody that can come out and beat me, and Cena comes out in the kind of like with the trunks that like
Yeah.
he came out the first time, so they relive that whole moment. So if you think about it, you can play it in as like an anime production. It's pretty
Mhm.
much like you just get in your head and then just go through like your whole career. So
Yeah,
that's what they did.
see that's the Fiend's character. The Fiend, he like attacks people's mind and all this other stuff. So like it all fit his character and it fit the gimmick and it was really cool. And like if I'm gonna be honest, like after watching it, would I have liked to see a little more traditional wrestling? Yes, I would have liked to see that in all three of these matches: the Boneyard, the Last Man Standing, and this one. But was this bad? What they gave me? Not at all. Did I enjoy it? Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like you gotta also like it. WWE is also entertainment, and hey, for the ones that like can question that, that's your goal doing. But at least hey, they went to something different also. They
Hmm.
have to like, hey, people are complaining about Matt Hardy with the teleportation and all of that. So there you go.
Yeah,
There's something like here. After that, example, like it kind of like you see how Bray was getting the upper hand with all
yeah.
getting in his head and everything. So then we go to like Saturday night's main event. from
Mhm.
the 80s. We get the whole like introduction from there. Then we see Bray behind a cage, and you kind of like see like the VCR, like an old tape.
Yeah.
That was legit. Yeah, and when you
Oh, this
attest to
was one of my this was one of my favorite parts.
and then Bray pretty much is cutting like a Hulk Hogan promo style, and then he brings his partner John Cena, who is like curling dumbbells. Reportedly, he's like
And
da.
his name was Big Johnny Meat or Johnny Big Meat. So
Yeah,
take that however you want, ladies.
yeah, like yeah, it was really cool. So they cut the promo. Then Cena drops the weights because like his arms are like really
Yeah,
tired.
and no, he's like lifting
Uh,
the
uh,
dumbbells, going crazy, and like everybody's just looking at him, and they're like, what? Like this dude is a machine. He's a freak. And then his arms are done. They go
Yeah,
done.
exactly. And then, he swings for Bray Wyatt, but Wyatt says that Egomania has been running wild on Cena. So then Cena winds up back in front of the SmackDown fist, and then, like, he comes out as Dr. Thugonomics. So again, reliving the whole career, and then he's like saying, oh, now I'm the Thugonomics now. And he's like, yeah, and he start rapping about the lack of fans, Bray Wyatt's weight, and also like he's a failure. But then Bray says that Cena is the golden goose. And it's not about Wawa, it's just a golden goose, but he's not a superhero. He makes fun of everyone, and then he wins, and then he runs away. And then he says that Cena, this is his last chance, so the floor is his. So Cena raps again, and then runs at Bray, but Bray Wyatt appears behind him and drops him with a chain fist. Like you see,
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah. He took like the doctor's is
yeah,
like the chain he wears around his neck. Because when
yes.
he went to hit him, like Bray teleported and he was like he felt he's like he could feel his chain was missing. Bray had it around his hand and
So you
and
see, like again, it was a different type of scenario. So then Bray
uh
appears as the original Bray Wyatt in a rocking chair. He says he had the whole world in his hands, and Sister Abigail spoke to him this day. Cena was supposed to be a man of people, but why didn't he listen when they sang for Wyatt? He says that people wanted and needed him, and it was supposed to be a prophecy, but it ended in his greatest failure. But now it's time to rewrite history, and Wyatt is in the rocking chair in the ring. So he attacks Cena in the corner and dances with him. He attempts Sister Abigail, but Cena escapes, and suddenly Wyatt has a chair, and he hands Cena the chair and says he made the wrong choice 6 years ago when Cena didn't hit him, but he tells Cena that he has to face that mistake. So Cena is about to do, he swings, but done. He's out. He moves, like there's no break. And then we go to like, that was my favorite part. Nitro,
hmm
and like I'm like, what the hell, like WCW Nitro, and then we hear, I'm like, oh god, the NWO, like that's so legit. And then the intro plays, and White is in the ring dressed up as Eric Bishop. He's like kind of the same exact promo that Eric Bishop, and then he introduces John Cena, and John Cena comes out like Hogan with like the title, like dragging like to like the song and everything, and then Vince McMahon goes like, oh, this is such good shit. Like the puppet is like saying
yeah.
that. And then Cena tackles Wyatt and punches him over and over, but we see clips like all the prominent, all the losses that Bray Wyatt has, and Cena also. So the camera pulls back, and then he was beating Huskus the pig, and then the Fiend appears behind Cena's, and then grabs him with a mandible claw, and then he like kind of hit the Sister Abigail, and then as we hear Cena's recent promos, the Fiend applies the mandible claw again, and then he stand up and poses, and then Cena disappears. So pretty much the winner is Bray Wyatt. So like you said, like this they play with his head. That's his character. He's like the Undertaker, but going to like the complete roof. The Undertaker will do one or two things to play with your mind, but like this guy went through the whole career. In the end, I mean, you never heard 1, 2, 3. So
Yeah. Now,
it's
what
kind of
would
like a
you?
mental
Yeah,
way.
yeah, and I do want to go off that. Now, I want your opinion on this as well. Do you think that this should be the end of it? This should be done. This is Bray Wyatt closing this John Cena chapter in his book. Next time we see him on the funhouse wall, will there be a picture of John with the red X's on his eyes? Or do you think that they continue this and then maybe John cuts a promo and they have a match at like a SummerSlam or something like that? And then you have Bray Wyatt get the 1, 2, 3 pin. Maybe John Cena, he's like, he can be like messed up for a while, like when Randy Orton was seeing The Undertaker everywhere, something like
Yeah.
that. You could redo that again, where it's like he mentally broke him, like you said, but he didn't physically beat him. So now Bray has to physically beat him. I wouldn't mind seeing an actual match between these two, but if this is the ending, I'm also happy with that as well. I just want Bray Wyatt to come out on top because you need to do that to rebuild and restart this Fiend character.
Absolutely. Like, I agree with you. The only thing, Jean Paul, is like Cena's willingness to be in WWE. That all depends his schedule. Like this guy is like pretty much in every single big movie. He's pretty much becoming the new Rock.
Oh
He's
yeah,
gonna be on Suicide Squad. He's gonna be on like the Fast 9, Fast 2000, whatever number of the franchise is.
yeah.
So, but like, I agree with you. They deserve to have a wrestling match because these two put something good. But if this is the end for Cena, hey, at least he was there. He supported. He's a guy, like, he's a company man. He always comes back to help them out, to be there, to boost the ratings. I'm not upset about it.
No.
But Titus' reaction, Jean Paul.
Yeah, I mean that was legit. See, that's what I mean. That
I don't know
how much better of a host was he in that one little moment there than
Titus
Gronkowski's the whole thing?
Yeah,
because when Kayla was interviewing, he was like, "I want to be the 24/7 champion." And it's like, dude, like
I'm sorry, but like I said this to you, Jean Paul. He looks like fucking Kelso from that 70s show. And I do not like Ashton Kutcher, and I don't like Gronkowski. Like you play like a freaking like dumb idiot. That I guess that because you're tall and you just like win Super Bowls, you're good. I despise that gimmick a lot. So done.
That gimmick.
Yeah, I despise that gimmick that you're like, oh, I'm dumb, but I'm tall. Come here, chicks. The hell no! Give me something good. No, hell no. Absolutely not. Main event time. WWE Championship match. Drew Galloway / McIntyre going against Brock Lesnar. Legit. Match like pretty much another
when
WWE 2K finisher mania.
When you say it's legit, I mean the ending was legit. The 1, 2, 3, raising the hand was legit. The match itself, finisher mania, which I mean, hey, some people they get off to that. Some people are like, oh, this is like Vince McMahon. This is good shit. Other people, it's like, really? Like we saw this with the dumpster fire bullshit Goldberg Braun Strowman match. Could we see a legit wrestling match here, please? But like I said to you, maybe they thought, hey, this, one, Brock Lesnar was already pissed that he had to be there and that his match couldn't be filmed first so he could leave. So they were probably like, let's just do this quick. Lesnar doesn't want to be here. He's pissed. And that's, yeah. Like other people we know, like when they're pissed, it's like a lot of people would rather just avoid them. Me, I'm like Drew McIntyre. I'd rather just kick him in the head.
Yeah, you'd rather do four Claymore kicks and done. Yep. And that's what happened. Pretty much it started out with like 2 Claymore kicks from Drew. And then he did like Lesnar did the 3 F5s. And like you said, like you were pretty much jumping up because he hit the first F5 and then one, not even a 1 count. And then
he kicked out at 1, and that's what I'm really happy to commentary. It was obviously it was Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips. And Byron Saxton was like, I can't believe he kicked out of the F5. Like, oh my God. And then Tom Phillips, which I was happy, he was like, not only did he kick out, he's like, he kicked out at 1. And I was like,
we talk about this because people, you're watching the shows. Thank you again for doing that. Lesnar is ready to. We said Lesnar wants to build McIntyre, and he did. Pretty much, he sold for him like nobody else. I never seen Lesnar selling that much for anybody else. He probably likes Drew McIntyre because Drew is legit. He looks like a main event. He carries himself as a main event. The guy did everything. Even he says in his chronicles and everything, he says, I learned what I needed to work on to get to the next level. TNA, they showed me. I was champ over there. NXT, they gave me the chance. Triple H, maybe tweak 1 or 2 things. I come back. I'm ready to be the man that I'm supposed to be. I'm ready to be that chosen one. And that's what happened. Like you said, 3 F5s. The second one, pretty much a 2 count. Third one, a 2. And oh my God. And they selling it in the commentary. They're like, really? Like, oh, he kicked out of a 3 F5. Nobody has ever done that. Next one was
and he also hit a couple of German suplexes on him too.
Yeah.
In between these F5. So it was like, oh my, like when he hit the third one, I was like, oh, like there's no way. I'm like, you're not going to have him squash, like, because at that point he was like, you could consider squashing McIntyre. Because like I said, I think McIntyre hit 1 or 2. I think it was 1. Was it 1 Claymore kick he hit? And then it was either 1 or 2. But anyway, then Lesnar went on his massacre of all these German suplexes and F5s, and it's like, you're not going to squash him like this. So in the back of my head, I was like, I know he's going to kick out, but it's still like, oh my God, like, are they going to do Drew dirty like this, like they did Ricochet? But when he kicked out of the third one, that's when I was like, it's done.
It's done. And then he hit 2 more Claymore kicks, 1, 2, 3. We have a brand new WWE champion, a full-time champion, so good for them, good for WWE. Congratulations to Drew McIntyre, Drew Galloway. You deserve it. He's really good. And we're happy because WrestleMania goes off the air with a brand new champion. Like you said, it kind of sucks that there was no crowd for that, but you know what? He has the champion. He can be like Jericho when he won the Undisputed Championship. He said that there was nobody to celebrate, Jean Paul. He went to his hotel, he ordered a pizza, and that's what he ate, and he celebrated by himself. So that's what
and you know what? As soon as things go back to normal and Drew McIntyre walks out on Raw, the place is gonna go insane.
Oh yeah.
You know, it won't be as big as 70,000 people or however many hell fit in a WrestleMania, stadium, whichever stadium they would hold it at. But, the 40,000, 25,000, whatever the number is, people at Monday Night Raw, when he walks out, they're all going to go insane. So he'll still get that moment. It might not just happen.
Go insane, Jean Paul. First time because probably people are finally going to be able to be at a massive event, to be with crowds and everything. First of all. You haven't got your fix from wrestling being in there. And McIntyre, his first time coming out as champion. It's going to be wild. It's probably going to be like the loudest reactions on TV history. I'm just telling you. And it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler.
And then, joking, back to the first night, the next time we see Shayna, it'll be like, so...
Crickets.
It'll be like, okay. She'll come out, do the thing, and it'll be like...
I like the music though. The theme song.
Shayna is legit. But see that just goes like this whole Mania. That's two perfect examples: the Raw Women's Championship and then the main title on Raw for the men. WrestleMania did some things legit. To sum it all up, the whole WrestleMania for me, they did some things legit. Boneyard legit. Cena legit. McIntyre wasn't the wrestling match I wanted, but the right winner. He looks like a superstar. He looks like the best guy in the company right now. But then they did some things bullshit. We got both, pretty much all the women's matches except SmackDown. That was the only one which was legit. And I thought that one was going to be the worst one.
Yeah.
I mean, the NXT match was so legit, but then the winner killed it for me. The same thing, Shayna Bazsler. She choked out Becky. Becky let me just roll backwards. Pin your shoulders, 1, 2, 3. So bullshit win. A couple other matches weren't really good, weren't really needed on the show. But I mean, overall, maybe it's because everything that's going on with the coronavirus and stuff. Like you said, this Mania to me wasn't as bad as I thought, maybe last year's was. I thought this one was a little better because maybe it was just a good distraction. Maybe WWE did something good for once.
What I said in our social media outlets, I just said a roller coaster of emotions, and I think it pretty much does that because there were really good points, there were bad points, they were like but at least we got a show. It's over with because finally they can take that pressure off too. Like, we gotta postpone and everything is like, okay, it's over. We gotta worry about SummerSlam. They did advertise Money in the Bank.
Yeah, which I was surprised.
May 10th. So maybe if they're smart, if they're kind of playing Tony Khan in AEW, they're going to record a bunch of TV and then just have another pay-per-view with no crowd. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying. We'll see. So thank you so very much for watching the video. Thank you for all the support. And again, comments, please. You guys like WrestleMania, dislike WrestleMania. Why? Just let us know all over it. And, we're, like you said, social media, we're spread out, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of them. We like to hear from all of you. Thank you again for all your support. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for all the notifications. We're putting gameplay. We're putting, more videos. We will not stop. So if WWE takes a break, we will not take a break. So just want to mention that, make that clear. We will have shows with crowd, with no crowd. We will always be here. So... And do we have something to say, Jean Paul? I think there's one thing left to say.
Yep. Do you know what that is?
And that is...